Hey guys, what is up? Brendan here, aka Brenbo, back with one of the last Audi TT videos I'm going to do on this channel. So today we are going to discuss my exhaust setup because many of you guys have been asking about it and I've done so much to it that I need to talk about this in a separate video. Like, I've done so much revisions to it and stuff. It's not so much new parts, it's just so much I've changed that's not new, it's just different, I should say. I know a lot of people have been doing videos like this because they want to explain it, because it is a big deal. It's what makes your car sound different from other people's and makes people look at your car for that reason, is your exhaust. So it's a big deal for sports cars or supercars per se. I've been changing my exhaust since I've got the car, which is about 2 years ago, and ever since then I've been keep changing it to get that perfect sound that I think is good, that I have right now, which I think I can't make much better. So I'm going to start way back when I got the car 2 years ago in October. At that time, I used to drive it in the winter, which I'm not going to now. That's why I made that video saying goodbye to the Audi TT, because now I'm going to winterize it and use my Jeep as my winter vehicle. So to begin, when I got this car, it was all stock, so nothing was upgraded on it at all. First off, I bought a MagnaFlow Touring Catback. This is the only exhaust I can get for this car, period. No other brand, anything, just because it's the single outlet, non-quattro car. So there's only one exhaust I could have got for it. So I decided to get it because it's the only one I could have got. It is a 2.5 inch all the way around, so it is bigger than stock, obviously, because it's an upgraded exhaust. So after I got the 2.5 exhaust on it, I thought it was decent. I was very disappointed though, because it was not loud at all. I mean, it did help a little bit top end, but low end it still sounded like garbage. I'm just being honest here, because I want to be honest for you guys if you have this car and want to do something with the exhaust. So it honestly sounded like garbage. It did sound a little better, but it was definitely not worth the $850 I paid for the catback exhaust. And that's right, $850, which is way more, I think, than any other cars, especially this Charger that I have right here. The exhaust for that was like $600, and it was way bigger, longer, more metal, so I didn't really get it. But obviously the Touring wasn't going to be loud at all, and that's what it said too, but that was my only option, so I had to get it even though it wasn't supposed to be loud from the beginning. So I dealt with that for a couple of months, and I'll show a clip right now because I have it, because it was on my channel, Let's Talk Exhaust. That was like my second video I made, I think, and I'll show you guys a clip right now what it sounded like with just the MagnaFlow Touring Catback exhaust. So as you guys can see, it was not good. It wasn't loud. It sounded pretty bad, actually. But I kept it because I couldn't afford anything else, and I thought it was okay. I didn't really know if I was going to modify this car yet. So I kept that for the whole winter, and I just let myself get used to this sound. Shortly after, I decided to get a universal catalytic converter, because a universal one would give it more airflow than a stock one, so it'd be a little bit louder, but not too loud, which I didn't know if I wanted it really loud or not back at the time. So I got a universal catalytic converter, which is about $200. So I got that put on, and I was like, okay, let's see how this sounds. So I had that put on, and it still sounded pretty bad. I don't have a video of it because I didn't want to make a video of it because it was just no results. It sounded kind of the same already. So that did nothing for me. $200 down the drain. So once again, I kept that for a couple of months. I just dealt with it knowing that I probably could not get this car loud. It was going to be a failure of making this sound pretty awesome. And my dreams and hopes of having it backfire, crackle, and everything was gone. But then I had this crazy idea. Why not just remove the catalytic converter? I mean, it seemed like a pretty good idea. I thought it would make it pretty loud, and I decided to go for it. A lot of shops would not do this, so I had to look around everywhere to find a shop that would do it for me, because it is illegal in Michigan. I don't know about other states, but I found a shop that did it for me. So I drove an hour to get it done, and this is what it sounded like. I have a clip. I'll show you right now. So it did dramatically increase the sound of it. It did open it up a little bit, make it not sound like an electric car as much, even though that's what it sounded like. But that was because my power steering was broken or leaking at that time, so it sounded kind of weird. But that's not the point. It did help a lot. It made it sound pretty loud at higher RPMs, but still idle. It didn't have a grunty sound to it, I should say. It still sounded a little bit bad idle, but high revving, it sounded pretty good actually. So I was pretty happy about that. I did waste $200 taking that Cadillac converter off that I had only on for like 2 months, and then $100 to straight pipe or take off the Cadillac converter. So there's about $300 right there with the $850 for the exhaust. So I had this homemade piece of metal that was just there in place of the Cadillac converter. It was nothing professional, just a piece of metal that the guy fabricated and put there and bent to the exhaust setup. I absolutely loved the sound of it when the Cadillac was off. I enjoyed it a ton. I showed my friends. I thought it was cool. But then, a couple months later, I got bored of that again. I know I needed to step it up a notch. So then I made the commitment to take the mufflers off. So when I did that, it was a big change. So when I did that, it was a huge change. Way louder than I ever expected. I had the same shop that took my Cadillac converters off do it with the mufflers. They were willing to do it, so I did that. That was another $150 to do that. And that made it crazy loud. Most of you guys probably even watched that video because that video pretty much blew up. It came out about 4 months ago, I would say 3 months ago. And that's the video where I said making a Audi TT even louder, because that's when I had no cats, no mufflers, and it screamed. It backfired like crazy, it crackled like crazy, and I was very impressed with it. I mean, that was probably like as loud as I could get it, I thought. Once I had it done at the shop, everyone stood outside waiting for me to pull out because they were just so anxious to see what this sounded like. And I'm not gonna lie, like when I first revved it or like gassed it down the road, I was just laughing for so long because I had no idea this car could do that. It could go from like this wimpy 1.8 liter 4-cylinder to this car that just screams, that's louder than some V8s that I know of. Especially this Charger here, it's louder. But later on, I decided to add a downpipe. And as you guys know, a downpipe is a huge deal on a turbo car. It connects to the turbo, to the cats, which I didn't have. So I got this downpipe from USP Motorsports. It was a 3-inch downpipe, which is pretty big, bigger than my catback. So it gave it a lot more airflow coming from the turbo. And it came with a Cadillac converter delete. So it was a professional pipe with a O2 sensor on it, or you could put it in, because the one I had right now, I had no O2 sensor on it. So my check engine light was always on. So the downpipe with the Cadillac converter delete had a bigger pipe than what I had right now to replace the Cadillac converter. So I was getting a bigger downpipe and a bigger tube where the Cadillac goes. So always bigger is better. So even though I already had no cats, this was even helping more because I had more airflow because it was bigger. If you guys understood that at all. It's kind of hard to explain. But once again, I had to drive an hour away, get that done with the downpipe and the bigger pipe that replaced the Cadillac converter. So basically after that, I had no restrictions at all. It was just a straight pipe from the motor back with a 3-inch downpipe. Basically, it was still worth it because I had the stainless steel from the original catback, and I still have the stainless steel with the cat delete and the downpipe. Where before with the cat delete, it wasn't stainless steel. With the homemade version I meant, the first time I did it, that was a steel, so it could have rusted. Basically, I wasted a lot of money because I wasted my money first off buying the universal cat, which was $200. Then taking it off to put just a pipe, which was about $100. Then taking off the muffler off the already catback system, which is $150. And then replacing the homemade pipe that replaced the Cadillac with the downpipe, which is another $100. So I replaced the Cadillac part of it at least like 3 times. Putting a universal on, putting a straight pipe, putting a professional straight pipe. It was a lot of work done to this car. So basically, I went from like the most restrictions you could have gone to like the most least restrictions, because now I just changed it up so much. I lost about $500 just putting other stuff on and trying stuff out, but at the end, I think it's well worth it. Now it sounds amazing, and I so far haven't found any other TTs online or something that sound like this. You guys could say it's a waste providing that catback for $850. But I got the stainless steel construction, which is a lot of money for stainless steel. And I have the tip, which looks really awesome because it has like these holes inside. It makes it look really sporty. And it's a big, I think 3.5-inch tip. So I still used a lot of parts out of it besides the muffler. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. I'm going to show you guys a clip now because now I have the car tuned. And I haven't shown an exhaust clip since I've got that tuned. For me personally, I think it just made it a little bit louder. It for sure crackles and backfires a lot more, which I can't really show you like I said unless I have a GoPro on it, which I don't. If you guys didn't know, the APR Stage 2 tune utilizes the Stage 2 with the downpipe. That's the only reason you can go Stage 2. So it gave it a ton of more horsepower, as you guys know. 2 videos, the day of the life getting the tune, and then reactions of having the tune, because I haven't gassed it until that video. So those are 2 sweet videos. You can check them out right here. So now I'm going to show you me revving the car right now with the tune, with all the stuff that I said I have done to it. Like I said, straight piped with the USP 3-inch downpipe. Sounds pretty cool. It's gonna sound a lot louder now than with the other exhaust clips because I have this camera now which has a super sensitive microphone. So it's gonna sound really loud, and it might sound pretty bad when it gets to the high revving because the microphone starts to just like fuzz out and just, it might sound terrible. I have no idea, but I'll show you guys what it sounds like right now from a cold start. And I'm pretty impressed. The only thing I can do to it now is an exhaust manifold. I'm not even sure if that's going to make it that much louder since it's a turbo car. It's not like headers. But that's like the only thing I can do with the car, which is about $300. I'm deeply considering it, but I'm still not sure if I want to go with a bigger turbo now or like later down the road. Because if I go with a bigger turbo, I can waste this manifold basically that I'll be getting. So that's like $300 I waste again. I'm just known for wasting money, as you guys know. So that's the only thing I could do. It would make it louder, I think, a little bit. Maybe make it crackle and backfire a little bit more. But besides that, that's the only thing else I can do to this exhaust setup to make it louder or just make it sound more aggressive. So that might come down the road. You guys just have to wait. But now, I'm going to cold start the car and rev it for you guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me talking about my exhaust setup because I've done so much to this exhaust, I had to make a video of it. And I hope you guys now know if you have a TT of what you can do, what not to do to make this thing sound awesome and not sound like a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder, which a lot of people laugh at, but I show up at Maurice's, you know. I show them up. Leave a like if you guys learned something about this and learned something about TTs in general of how they sound with exhaust maybe. I know maybe it's different on the dual setup, but I just know for the single setup because that's what I have. And don't forget to subscribe for more Audi TT videos. I might have one more coming. And then the Jeep build, as you guys know, is coming along flawlessly, and that's going to be coming up a lot more. So I'll see you guys later. As always, peace out. Draw My Life video to celebrate 40,000 subscribers.